subject, of course, is secession and nullification, the breaking up of government. And the good news is it's going to happen. Amen. It's happening.
We'll see about that. Almost 270,000 square miles comprise the second most populous state in America. Cattle and cowboys may be the first thing that comes to mind when one thinks of Texas. But right behind would be secession, military takeover, and panicking when a kid builds a clock somebody thinks is a bomb. Saddle up. Let's go around the dial. Land at the Rock Solid Talker in Houston, Texas. News Radio 740 KTRH, where every weekday from 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time he holds court. Let's welcome Michael Berry to the Hard Line. Michael, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And look at all this we got going on in Texas today. Let's go ahead and start off with this secession notice, if you will. The Texas Nationalist Movement wants to make sure that Texas gets out. Put it on the GOP ballot. Come on, Michael. Really, is this a little out of line here? I mean, do people really want to secede?
No, I don't think very many people really want to succeed. Everyone wants to succeed. No one wants to secede.
Exactly.
But I think that what is basically a fringe element is tapping into a bigger sentiment, and that is that the people of Texas are furious with what's going on. We are a donor state. We're paying in a lot more than we're getting back. And the truth is, the United States couldn't survive without the Texas economy right now. And I think what you're seeing is that we just want to be left alone. What the Confederate flag meant to a lot of people, and it was mistaken, was leave people alone. Let them be independent. Let them be free and away from the federal government, as our founders intended. And I think that's what these folks represent. Even though they don't represent a movement that the rest of us are getting behind, they do represent a sentiment that we do all share.
All right, so very quickly then, what's the solution?
I think the solution is we have to have a Texan in the White House.
Okay, I'll give you that. I know a lot of people will say, that's fine, we'll take that any day of the week. Let's go to the second issue here that I mentioned here. This came out of the mouth of Alex Jones and a lot of others who were talking about sinister government takeovers, thanks to Jade Helm 15, saying that civil war, police will die. Wouldn't you agree that it's this kind of hysteria that really makes people look at Texas and go, what the heck are those people smoking down there?
Well, I think it's the kind of hysteria that makes people take a good reasoned opposition to the government out of context, because I don't think very many people share what Alex Jones or those types of folks believe. But I think a good, healthy cynicism toward our government is a good thing. I don't know why the government needed to do this. We have other lands where we could do this. There are ways they could have done this. It did seem, I will tell you that there were a lot of people who were uneasy but didn't want to speak publicly about it because they didn't want to be perceived as some sort of a nut.
Well, isn't that just it? Now, cynicism is good. Come on, we always need a lot of that here. You've always got to look at things, question authority, as I always say. But in the same breath, you don't need nut jobs like this basically making Texas look bad when it's the Texan people who just want to do things normally. How's that?
You're exactly right, Ed, but if I had told you 10 years ago that our government was going to run guns to Mexico or allow it to be done and then cover it up, or the IRS was going to target Tea Party groups, you'd have said that I was a nut, and I would have said that someone was a nut. At a certain point, Obama has created this environment where people are willing to suspend disbelief of anything, and that's unfortunate.
I will give you that. 60 seconds left. And by the way, I love Texas, one of my favorite places. Just wanted to put that in there. And I got the cowboy boots on to prove it, by the way. Less than 60 seconds. Ahmed Mohammed arrested for bringing a hoax bomb to a school in Irving, Texas. He said it was a clock. The cops said it might have been a bomb. Come on, straighten this out for us here. And we're showing a picture of this right now. Didn't the cops kind of overreact here? Everybody overreact here.
No, they didn't. And really? I'll tell you why. It's great that this kid's a tinkerer, and we should encourage that. But the kid comes to school with something that's ticking and a teacher doesn't know what it is. If it turns out to be a bomb and they're wrong, we're going to say, why didn't you protect the school? They were wrong, but look at the environment we're living in and what's going on these days. It's all been sorted out. Hey, give the kid the pat on the back, maybe some extra time to help him invent and to tinker. But in this environment, in the world we're living in right now, this particular heightened world, I think it's totally understandable.
10 seconds. Did they need to put him in handcuffs?
No, absolutely not. That was over the top and ridiculous.
Okay, that's the whole point here. If you have something to question, I get that. But putting the kid in handcuffs here was a little bit ridiculous. This and a whole lot more you can talk about at 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time on 740 KTRH in Houston, Texas with Michael Berry. Michael, a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have you on again real soon. All right, on deck. Is it time for Republicans to just get rid of both John Boehner and Mitch McConnell? John Gizzi will answer that question and a whole lot more when we come back right here on The Hard Line.